Welcome to the Owatonna Today Show, your community connection. I'm your host, Francy Hall. Today, we are going to be visiting with Judge Jill Bondhus and with Nicole Graham, who's the coordinator of the Steele-Waseca Drug Court program. We'll be talking all about the drug court. And after that, we actually took a field trip, Leanne and I, last week, over to the Rice-Steele 911 Center, and we visited with the manager there, the Administrator Jill Bondhus. So we hope that you'll enjoy getting a sneak peek into that 911 call center. Before that, though, of course, we want you to take a look at a word from our sponsors. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
I'm Dan Branstead of Carlson Branstead and Company, Certified Public Accountants. We support the Owatonna Today Show.
Owatonna Public Utilities, real people, real reliable, real progress. Making life a little easier day after day, taking pride in our community, listening to what you say, a voice you can talk to. We're growing with you in mind in everything we do. Owatonna Public Utilities.
Greetings from the Steele County Historical Society. We invite you to visit us and enjoy your county's history at the History Center and Village of Yesteryear. Check our website for current exhibits and monthly programs.
Welcome back, and let's also welcome Judge Jill Bondhus. Hello. And Nicole Graham. Nice to see you both this morning.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. So I'm glad I'm not in trouble. I've got, the judge and the drug court coordinator with us. So this is something that you've just celebrated a year of drug court, is that right?
Correct.
Okay, and so the public may know a little bit about it, but let's get them caught up just a little bit. So first of all, why was this needed?
Well, drug court is a specialty court which takes individuals out of the traditional probationary setting and places them in a unique program. We're looking for individuals with high risk, high needs, and that have an identifiable chemical dependency issue. And it is an intensive program which includes weekly drug court meetings, twice weekly testing that they engage in for drug use or alcohol use. And we also have programming requirements. We also have curfew requirements. So it's a very intense program, but it ensures a lot of follow-up, a lot of positive reinforcement throughout the program to ensure that they're being law-abiding and complying with the terms and conditions of the drug court.
Okay, and so for this population, why is it that we needed to have a separate system? Were they taking up a ton of court time and hours, or what was it that kind of precipitated needing to have a whole program specifically for people with drug and alcohol offenses?
Well, I think drug courts have been around for 25 years, and we've really learned a lot from different drug courts on what's successful and what is unsuccessful in the programs, and we are trying to replicate all the successes that other programs have. And a lot of study has been done in drug courts, and I think the realization and the frustration is that people with drug or alcohol problems really need intensive services, and once you take care of the drug and alcohol problem, many times the criminal issues go away because they're making better decisions, they're clean and sober, they're working, they're doing well in the community, and it saves significant costs within the criminal justice system to provide services at the point of drug court rather than through the prison system or jail system.
Which is very expensive.
Correct.
Prison is very expensive, and jail,
Yep.
both. So tell us, Nicole, is there a higher criminality rate among people who use drugs and alcohol, or how is it that the court has interacted with that population prior to the drug court?
Sure, it's more of a dual difficulty. We're looking for folks that are high criminogenic risk and high need, which is their chemical dependency disorder. So we're not looking for the traditional folks that simply just have a chemical dependence disorder. We're looking for the folks that have the combination of high criminality as well as high rates of or high need in the chemical dependency realm. And so when you target that specific population, they've had difficulties in the past on traditional probation, and the drug court model has shown to be quite effective with this population in helping them reduce their risk of reoffending, helping them on their pathway to recovery, and really just helping them be engaged again as a productive citizen.
So that's kind of the key. We want productive citizens, not people who are addicted to drugs and alcohol and going out and committing crimes, maybe as a result of that addiction.
Yes, and some of the comments that we've received from some of our participants that have been in the program for a lengthy period of time is they talk about how they were hiding in their basements and they were offending throughout the community, and now that they've been clean for a long period of time, they want to continue to give back to the community and show that they're a citizen again. So many of them are talking about being involved in community service projects or just simply being involved in a recovery community so that they can show that they're a productive citizen again.
We want productive citizens. That's wonderful. What were the typical kinds of crimes that people who have this kind of dual track, drug, alcohol, and the crime, what kind of crimes were they committing? What's the kind of most common?
Sure, it's a wide range of crimes. Many of them are committing property offenses. They're burglarizing or stealing to support their habit. Others are committing drug offenses, possessing or selling their drug. And then we also work with the multi-DWI offender who has difficulties with, their drinking and how it's destroyed their life. Mm-hmm. And so it's a wide range. I would say property offenses, drug offenses, and DWI behavior are probably the three most typical offenses that we're working with. Okay.
And so what is the expectation or the hope for this program? People go through the program, and what are the outcomes that we're looking for? And how successful have we been at achieving them?
Sure. We've had a preliminary study done by an evaluator from Minnesota State University, Mankato, and what he has shown is that as a taxpayer, we have saved significant dollars in incarceration costs by diverting these folks from the incarceration system back into reintegrating them into the community. We have a few families who have regained custody of their children. We have folks that are working now that had not worked in the past, and so they're now paying taxes versus historically where they were kind of a drain. Mm-hmm. Sure. And we're now seeing, because we've been around a little over a year, and we've had folks that are doing very well, that they're being leaders in the community. So they're hosting or chairing meetings in the community. They're doing their own outreach with others that are using. And so the hope is that we're restoring these folks into being productive citizens, and we're helping them on their pathway to recovery, and we're saving lives by helping them address some of the core issues of the difficulties that they've had up to this point.
I love you said restoring. I'm even writing that down. Restoration versus incarceration. Is that basically what we're attempting?
Yes.
That sounds good. Joe, in what way has your interaction with this population changed? I mean, how is it different from them coming into your courtroom in a regular court setting versus what they're experiencing with you? And what are you experiencing?
Right. Drug court is a very less formal process. When you meet people every week, you get to know them, know their rhythms of life, know where they're working, know about their children, and before each drug court session, we have a staffing, an hour-and-a-half long staffing where we talk about what's happening in each participant's life. Are they passing their drug tests? Are they attending their meetings? Are they having particular problems in the community? Each drug court participant journals to me every week, so I get some feedback on what's going on in their life, positive, negative. I journal back to them, and so to the extent I really get to know the people, I do, and that's a good part of what I do. It's very satisfying for me to know kind of their ups and downs of life, and so many times when we see how they're doing on a week-to-week basis, we know, are they struggling with something? Do they need additional assistance? And we can then try to be proactive and help them out before there's a real problem.
So you're really hands-on. I mean, it's almost like case management in a way.
Very much so, and it's a very team-oriented process also in our in our staffings, we have police officers there, we have probation, we have therapists there, we have chemical dependency counselors, we have halfway house providers. So everybody's brainstorming as to what is the right move in a given situation. Ultimately, it rests with the court on what to decide, but many times we have a good discussion, a very creative problem solving that can occur in those sessions, and then we take that to the drug court and move forward from there.
So a comprehensive team of people that is making this happen. And what do you think, I mean, have you noticed, are there certain, I don't want to say carrots and sticks, for lack of better phrasing, that help these people move along their way? I mean, you mentioned some people got their children back. I assume that is maybe a carrot, like, look, we can go through this process. What are some of the things that motivate them to get to restoration? We
see a shift. So in the beginning, they come into the program to avoid incarceration, to attempt to get their children back. As they progress in the program, the shift changes from the external motivation, which is things that we're imposing upon them, to internal motivation, which is they want to change because they want a better life for themselves and their family. And so the motivation changes kind of as they become healthier, but in the beginning it's to avoid some undesirable consequence, and in the end it's to improve their life.
So they take responsibility. At some point, you're kind of pushing things on them, and at some point, they're actually taking those things into themselves instead of having it be pushed upon them.
Yes. Wow. Yep.
Yeah, it's a combination of incentives and sanctions. We provide gas cards, little gifts such as fishing lures, which are popular with the guys.
Really?
Makeup kits, notebooks, household items. Just occasionally we give an incentive because they're doing well. They need to be recognized, and that's a motivating factor. We also have jail and do impose jail time for misbehavior, but for the most part, the emphasis on positive reinforcement rather than negative reinforcement.
And does that seem to be a more effective tool, the positive reinforcement versus putting them in jail?
For this program, given the intensity of it, yes, I do believe so. And there's a lot of peer pressure within the group. The drug court team wants people to exceed, but also the participants work together to make sure that people are doing what they need to, helping each other out, giving rides to meetings, chairing meetings. It's really quite nice to see the friendships that are developed within the drug court participant group itself.
So do they meet as a group in some setting, or?
Right, they all come together every Wednesday at 1:30 at the courthouse. So we have the whole group there in the jury box. We call out their names, we see how they're doing in the week, we talk about their week, and so everybody gets to know each other quite well.
Wow, so it's not just a team of the professional caseworkers and probation people and the judge and the police and the other community resources. That
Correct.
is amazing.
How many participants?
How many people are participating in the program?
Our total Steele-Waseca drug court team, we have targeted for 40 participants. We have 40 in the program. We
reached capacity in January, and we've been running with a wait list ever since. And right now we have 6 on our wait list. And we've had to refer some of our participants out. One gentleman, we're trying to get him into a veterans court program.
Okay.
And another gentleman referred up to Rice County.
Okay. Well, we definitely want to revisit with you again on the successes of the program. It sounds like it is fairly successful. Thanks so much for being here today and for doing the work you're doing to make those people, to restore them and also help our community. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
Yes. Thank you for watching. And after a word from our sponsors, stay with us. We will be going to the Rice-Steele 911 Center and visiting with Jill Bondhus.
Hi, I'm Mike Bath, General Manager of the Napa Distribution Center and 2015 Corporate Campaign Leader for United Way of Steele County. Every dollar donated during this year's United Way campaign is an investment in the future of our county. Our goal this year is to raise $670,000 to create a stronger, healthier community where everyone has the opportunity to meet their basic life needs and reach their full potential. It takes all of us pulling together to meet our common goals, and thank you for doing your part to support United Way of Steele County by giving from the heart to this year's campaign.
Carbon monoxide is a colorless, odorless gas produced by gas-fired appliances in your home. The state of Minnesota requires that you have a carbon monoxide alarm within 10 feet of sleeping areas in your home. We suggest you have a digital readout carbon monoxide alarm. That way we were able to check and see what the concentration amount was when the alarm went off. This has been a public safety tip from the Owatonna Fire Department.
Hello, I'm Glenn Mager.
And I'm Michael Mager with the Brick Mager Funeral Home and the Medford Funeral Home. At Brick Mager, we are privileged to have served the families of Steele County community for 118 years.
Whether you choose traditional burial or cremation, we promise the tribute your loved one deserves with the peace of mind that you require.
We are proud to be part of the Owatonna Today Show.
Hi, this is Barry Gillespie, president of ERA Gillespie Real Estate, where our pledge is to save you money, save you time, and simplify your life. And we're proud supporters of the Owatonna Today Show.
Hello, I'm David Einhaus with the Owatonna Foundation. Thank you to all of our donors who have helped make Owatonna a better place to live. Will you join us today with a financial gift? Owatonna Foundation is a proud sponsor of the Owatonna Today Show.
Welcome back to the Owatonna Today Show, your community connection. I'm Francy Hall, and I'm here with Jill Bondhus, who is the administrator for the Rice-Steele 911 call center. So we are here in the epicenter of the 911 calls that you might be making or other people, these folks are receiving. Hello, Jill.
Good morning.
Thanks for letting us in this kind of, private space here. So Jill, we want to know, first of all, where are we standing right now?
So this is the area the dispatchers work. This is what we call a pod. There's 4 of them generally working at a time, and we have an additional workstation that's on the other side of the area here. Each one of these stations are configured exactly the same, which allows the dispatchers to either be a radio dispatcher or a call taker, depending on their role for the day.
Okay, so we'll get into that, what the difference between radio dispatch and being the person answering the calls. And so does this mean that this is interchangeable? They don't have the same desk every time? People just kind of move in and out through whatever desk is available?
So the dispatchers do rotate their workstations based on what their job responsibilities would be for today. So, you may have a radio dispatcher at one station, and then the next station's a call taker, and then they partner up and back each other up.
Okay. Well, let's get into something else here before we start. We'd like to know a little bit about you. I know that you were just recently promoted, and you are now the administrator.
Correct.
Is that right? And how long have you been doing call center work, whether an operator or whatever else?
As a dispatcher, I started about 20 years ago. I've been with the Rice-Steele 911 Center. February, I celebrated my 15th year with the center.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And what made you get into 911 call center work?
In high school, I had the opportunity to be part of what was called CAP, or Community Awareness Program. I was able to go out and work with Gold Cross Ambulance in Rochester and be one of their explorers, and I just grew from there. And my job that I took on was as a dispatcher.
Okay. And you did tell me a story earlier, which was that when you were a kid, you and your brother would sit and listen to
the scanner. Yep, we did. We listened to the scanner quite often.
So it's in your blood somehow.
Yep, I suppose you could say that.
Well, that's great, because obviously you are now running the center, so you've got an early age experience of of it. So tell us, what happens in this place? You said that people are on the radio, they're dispatching, and then there are people accepting the calls.
Right, so we work in a call taker dispatcher environment. So what that means is that as you as the citizen calling 911, dispatcher A picks up the line and begins to ask you questions. You're reporting an accident with injuries. And as they're obtaining that information, they do what is called queue the call. They'll queue the information, it'll go to all of the computers here within the room, and the radio dispatcher will take that information and start the appropriate resources, whether it's law enforcement, fire rescue, or ambulance. So that means there's no delay when you're calling 911 and your dispatcher is still asking you questions. Partners doing the work in the background and getting everybody going.
Has that changed? Did it used to be just one person answering the call and dispatching?
Many, many years ago, yeah. But since we've been here, since we opened our doors 15 years ago, it's been a call taker dispatcher environment.
Sounds way more efficient.
Yes, yep, it's much more timely.
Now, when I make a call, I have a question about technology. When I make a call from my cell phone, how do you know, does that go directly to if I'm here, does it go directly to your call center?
Right. So within the last couple of years, we made some recent changes. The cell calls used to all go to the State Patrol office in Rochester. Now, based on where you are geographically within the county, we work with cellular companies and we choose areas. So if it's a non-populated area and the interstate or state highway is the main area in which that impacts, those still go to State Patrol. But if it's a populated area and not on one of the state highways, then that call is coming directly into our center, which takes a step away from it goes to their office, then it comes to us.
So somehow the cell towers pick up where we are.
Yep.
And
they know your GPS location, and based on where you're at and which tower you associate and how it triangulates, then that call will either be triaged to our office or their office.
Okay, well that's good to know, because I remember calling a while back that was, and I did get a State Patrol, and I'm thinking, this is odd, I'm calling 911, but okay. Well, the right person will answer regardless. So
right, yep,
that's
either
important.
way you're going to get some assistance.
Are there other ways for us to contact 911 now with the new technologies? Like if I'm on my computer and something is happening and I don't have a phone, can I use that?
Well, there are some VoIP systems that individuals have but text to 911 is coming for the state of Minnesota. Our agency has the technology for it, but the state has not given us the okay to use that. So once that information is here and staff is trained, anybody within the state of Minnesota will have the technology to text to 911.
Which could be important, because there are times maybe when people they don't want someone else in the house maybe to know that they're trying to contact 911. What happens when somebody contacts 911 and another person interrupts it by trying to hang up the phone or impede that call?
Yeah, there are laws that protect the citizens for that, interfering with 911. So the officers, that information would be shared with the officers, and then they would send that forward to the county attorney's office for prosecuting.
So it's illegal?
It is illegal for someone to interrupt a 911 call, yes.
Okay. And so what is VoIP, you said?
VoIP, it's voice over internet protocol.
Oh, okay.
It's it's a computer system.
Right, so it's not voice over phone, it's voice over computer.
The internet protocol, yeah.
Okay. So what else is going on here that's new? I know that that you had something you wanted to talk about that wasn't something new and exciting that people need to know about.
So we have an emergency alert system called Everbridge. It's a system we migrated to a few years back. And beginning of October, we are looking at upgrading that system, and there's a couple new exciting things that are coming with that. One is we have a piece which is called Smart Weather, which is an interface with National Weather Service. So when National Weather Service sends out some type of weather alert, whether it's tornado watch or warning, severe thunderstorm, any of those that meet that criteria, the notification will go directly out from their office rather than coming into the dispatch center and the dispatch center needing to process that information out. So it'll be a time saver and it'll be instantaneously to go out.
So I already opted in for getting emergency alerts from the Owatonna Police Department. Mm-hmm. So how does that change for me?
So there's going to be another upgrade or feature to the system is you're going to be able to go in and manage your account. There's going to be certain types of weather notifications that you can't change, such as a tornado warning, severe thunderstorm warning, blizzard warning. Those are all too important for public safety, so we won't allow you to manage those, but we're breaking down the weather. Right now you just get any type that we send out. You can go in and break it down further. I want a wind advisory, I want a flood advisory, and you can be more specific. So we're going to encourage citizens to go in and manage their account. Another piece to it is they can manage the time. So if you work night shift and you sleep from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. and you don't want to receive notifications during that time, you can go in and change your account to say, I don't want notifications.
Except for those emergency ones that you said we can't tamper with.
Right, those we're not going to allow just because they're too important for public safety.
Do we have to opt into this, or does everybody with the phone just automatically get?
Nope.
Yeah.
So for weather notifications, that is an opt-in feature. So you would need to go in. You can go to any of the public web pages. City of Owatonna, Steele County, any of those have a link to sign up. Otherwise, you can make contact with our office. We're always happy to help somebody get signed up on that notification.
Okay. And so all of these notifications that are coming, all this information, if I want to contact 911 for something like, let's say last night maybe there was a dog barking all night, hypothetically, right across the street from me, and but I wouldn't call 911 for
Right.
that.
So we have non-emergency numbers which are available for Owatonna. It's 507-451-8232. That would be appropriate use to call in on a non-emergency phone number to report that.
Because you get a lot of calls. How many calls did you field last year,
For 2014, we had just over 142,000 phone calls that came into the center. And that's just one piece. You know, we also have radio transmissions and other things that we need to process, CAD events and various pieces.
CAD events, what is that?
CAD is computer-aided dispatching. That's what the dispatchers use to input the call data, give it to the officers in the field, make their notes, and it's the documentation trail for the calls.
So the 175,000 odd calls or whatever it was, those are just coming in. There's all those other things that are going out as well.
That's just one small piece of everything that they do here in the call center.
Well, thank you so much for inviting us in and letting us be here, and for all these folks who help keep us safe. We appreciate it very much.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much for joining us. We hope you got some good information about the 911 call center. Please stay with us. After a word from our sponsors, we'll be right back.
It should be shortly.
Amy Swain Hearing Centers is a proud sponsor of the Owatonna Today Show. I'm Dr. Amy Swain, and I want everyone to hear better.
I'm Deb Gillard. And I'm Sean McNulty with Brookdale Owatonna Senior Living Solutions. We are assisted living and Alzheimer's and dementia care communities here in Owatonna, and formerly known as Clare Bridge and Sterling House. And we are proud sponsors of the Owatonna Today Show.
Welcome back. We hope you enjoyed today's show. It is time for our community announcements. Let's see, SCORE wants you to know that there is a Lunch and Learn Leadership Conference. It's called the Leadership Connection, and attendees will discover leadership strategies and techniques necessary to connect with and to inspire, motivate, and influence their teams and coworkers. So if you are interested in that, it is September 30th at 11:30 a.m. until 1 at South Central College in Faribault. There is a $20 fee. Next thing here, Homestead Hospice will be having a volunteer training session on Friday, October 30th, and on Monday, November 2nd. If you are interested in volunteering, you are required to complete an online application. That online address is www.alinahealth.org/homestead. A brief interview, immunization check, background and reference checks are also required. Class registration is required by October 30th. If you have any questions, call Tricia Johnson at 507-977-2908. Again, we hope that you enjoyed today's show. Please join us again later in the week. We're going to have a conversation about the Spirit Run Walk for Catholic youth that's coming up on October 10th. Also, the Owatonna Foundation Week, a lot of things going on for the Owatonna Foundation. And looks like Express Employment Professionals and Hawk Ridge, some fun stuff that Leanne filmed. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you later.